Alright, so what's good, y'all? So today I'm going to be making my prediction for the 2021 XXL freshman list. So I've been meaning to make this video for about a week now, and I've just been kind of lazy and I had some school stuff. But I knew I had to get it out quick because the list is going to be coming out very soon. So I hate to do all the self-promo stuff, but if you like this video, leave a like, and I've got a few Spotify playlists in the description, so let's go check those out too. So for my prediction, I'm going to be mainly going off the people who are on the XXL 10th vote page. So these are the people, if you didn't know, that you can vote for to be on the list, and usually there's a 10th spot. There's like a fan vote, and whoever gets the most votes on this page is the person on the list. In the past few years, though, there have been like 11 to 12 people on the list. So my prediction today is 12 people. So here's some honorable mentions. I have Chef G, Sleepy Hollow, J.I., Sofago, Ruby Rose, and Hot Boy. So Sleepy Hollow, Chef G, Spot'em Got'em, and Snot and Sofago weren't on the voting thing. I have a few of these people on my actual prediction just in case they do make it and they weren't on this 10th page voting. If they were on the voting, I'd probably put almost all the people here on that list, but I feel like the other people who are going to be on this list are big enough to make it, and like bigger than the other people, and probably deserve it a little bit more at this point. So Chef G was arrested fairly recently, so that may hurt his chances of like making the list. And also Hot Boy is another honorable mention. I think one reason he won't make it is because he's also had a fairly extensive criminal record, and XXL usually likes to stay away from the controversy, which is why like people like 6ix9ine were on the list in the years past. So I've assumed you've seen one of like the 3 big leaked lists this year for XXL. If you haven't, I have a whole video talking about like the history of XXL leaks, and this year's leaks are at the back of the video, so if you want to go see those, you can just go back there. I think you can tell these are not going to be the actual lists. I know one had Billie Eilish, I saw one had like a Juice hologram and stuff. I don't think either of those things will happen. So yeah, I'm not just going to be going straight off those lists, but I did take into some consideration who they put on there. So my first pick is Pooh Shiesty. So he had a huge song, Back in Blood, which like peaked at number 13 on Billboard and it spent like 20 weeks on the chart. But his songs don't do as well on Spotify, but they still do put up big numbers, especially for someone who's like just started blowing up in 2020. But his songs on YouTube always put up huge numbers. Songs like Main Slime, Monday to Sunday, Twerk Some, and Neighbors all have between 30 and 65 million views, and others have 10 plus million. And Back in Blood, his big hit, has 140 million views on YouTube and over 100 million streams on Spotify. So in 11 months of posting videos on his YouTube channel, he has over 540 million views. And he just released a deluxe, I think just a few weeks ago, to Shiesty Season, and it's fire. It's the songs are all doing fairly well on streaming platforms and YouTube. So my second pick, I was a little bit iffy about putting him on here, but it's the Kid Laroi. So he's been huge recently with many TikTok hits. Although some people speculate he is botting streams, I'm just gonna say for his benefit that he's not, but just keep that in mind. So he's had a bunch of big singles, like Without You, which just got a Miley Cyrus remix that a lot of people hated, but the song is still huge, you can't deny that. He had Go, which had a Juice WRLD feature, So Done, and so many other big hits. So he's had multiple Lyrical Lemonade videos with like 15 million views, 30 million views, and over 50 million views. And so he's been blowing up a lot, and this has been because his label, Grade A, has been marketing him as kind of like the next Juice WRLD and kind of putting him on songs with Juice WRLD that people are a little bit mad about because they're thinking like they're using Juice for clout for Laroi, but it has increased his popularity a lot. So my third pick is Coi Leray, who I knew as Trippie Redd's ex last year, but this year she's really been blowing up musically. So her first, like, I guess one of her biggest snippets, Big Purge, just released a few weeks back, may have been a month back now, but the snippet was a little bit bigger than the song, so it went huge on TikTok, but the song is still doing well. I think it sits at like 15-16 million streams on Spotify right now. And then she had No More Parties, which had a remix with Lil Durk, and both the original and the remix did really well. And there was a big trend to remix No More Parties. A lot of big artists did it. It was kind of like the beatbox remixes, but just not as big, at least from what I noticed. So she also had Slide with Gunna. She had another TikTok song called Impatient with DDG that's doing pretty well. And then some people I heard said she should have been on the list last year, although I don't think she should have, because I think she's a lot more popular this year. So I just think it makes sense, and she's probably the biggest female artist like that's new right now. So the second female artist I have on this year's list is Flo Milli. So one of her biggest songs from this year is Mean by Snot, and she's a pretty big feature on it. It has a Lyrical Lemonade video, and the song did really well. And she consistently drops pretty big songs. Like her recent album or project, which came out I think 2020, has multiple songs that did really well. So I don't really listen to her all that much, so I don't have too much to talk about her, but she's pretty successful, and I actually thought how she should have been on the list last year over Chica. So yeah, a few of her hits did come out in 2019, but still, she still has big songs, and the songs are still doing well to this day. So I think it would make sense for her to make the list this year. Alright, so number 5 is someone who I actually really did not like for a while, but I've started getting into his music more and like other stuff, which you'll probably be able to understand in a second, and that's DDG. So DDG started off as like what you consider a YouTube rapper, like a YouTuber who started making music, and most of these people are kind of corny with like just a fast rap style, and people just don't like it, and other people are just like big for like making diss tracks, but DDG actually makes like really good music now. So I think the first like big song of his that got like a lot of like love was Givenchy, and then Arguments, and then his biggest song to date, Moonwalking in Calabasas. So Moonwalking in Calabasas I think is going to go platinum at some point soon. The song is huge, and there's been multiple pretty big remixes. There's the one with YG, and then the one with Blueface is the biggest, and the actual song itself is doing pretty well. I think it has around 20 million streams, but the remix has like 120 million. It's crazy, and both music videos did really well. And then just recently he featured on the Astronaut in the Ocean remix. The song's such a huge meme, and it's kind of trash, but his verse actually wasn't bad. I liked it a lot better than the original guy, and this is pretty good because this is going to get him to chart high on Billboard, because he will, I think, get some credit for that, and it shows that like he's getting big looks from big people in the industry. And also his project did really well, or at least better than I thought it would. I think it sold around 9 to 10k first week, and a few of the songs did pretty well. They all have like, or a few have 5-6 million streams and a few million views on YouTube, and they have big features too, which again shows he's getting big looks from the industry, and he's kind of broken away from that YouTube rapper label. And then he also featured on the Stuntin' on You remix by Tyler Yahweh, which is another big song, although the remix didn't do as well as they might have planned. So the next artist on this list is 42 Doug, and one of the reasons that I think he's going to make it is because he just dropped an album, and I think they do the photo shoots for XXL around April, so they could have already done it. XXL could be helping promote his album and making people check out his new music. That's one thing that I think might happen. That's one reason why I think he's going to be on the list, but even besides that, I think he should have been on the list last year, and I think he's almost a lock for this year. We Paid and Grace with Lil Baby were both big songs and have huge numbers, and then For the Gang, which is the song he released recently with Roddy Ricch, is huge now. I think it's his highest trending song on Spotify, and it's like 30 something million streams in just like a month or two. It's crazy. It's doing really well. And then he featured on Meek Mill's song GTA, which was another successful song. And then his tape before Freedom Boys, his last one last year, had big songs like Not a Rapper and Been Turnt, which did well. And then he had another song with Marshmello. A lot of people, when the snippet dropped, thought it had some interesting lyrics, but yeah, that also got him some more clout because people looked his way to like clown on him and make jokes, but the snippet did well and it brought him some more attention. And then he's one of the bigger artists with this like Detroit and sound and flow, which is like completely different than everywhere else in the rap game right now, which is really interesting to see. But yeah, the sound's getting a lot bigger now, and it'd be perfect for him to help elevate the sound. The next artist here is big, but I haven't seen like many people talk about him at all. It's Tyler Yahweh. He had a huge song with Tommy Lee. I think it peaked at 64 on Billboard if I'm not mistaken, but it has 130 million streams to this day, and then the remixes have 30 million. His second biggest hit, High Right Now, has 140 million combined streams because of the Wiz Khalifa remix and the original. And then Stuntin' on You has 70 million streams, and then the remix is 7 million. And then All the Smoke has 20 million, and then I Love Her has 50 million. I know it's like a lot of numbers to bring up, but the fact that no one's talking about him right now that I've heard is crazy, because he's had so many big songs. And even he got a Post Malone feature on Tommy Lee, which is crazy, because I know they're friends. I actually saw them on tour, but it's crazy that no one's talking about him, and he's got this big cosign from Post Malone, and he's had songs playing like during the NBA games, like the breaks. It's crazy how he's like getting like all these big songs, but like no attention from the mainstream. So I think this could be a really big opportunity for him. So next artist I have here is CJ. So I know at the start I mentioned how there are some artists I didn't put on the list for some reasons. I think it was Chef G, J.I., and Sleepy Hollow. And one reason I didn't put them on is because CJ is on here, and he's a New York like drill artist. And Chef G and Sleepy Hollow are both drill artists as well. And I think it's very unlikely that they'll put 2 New York drill artists on here, especially 3. I don't think they're all going to make it. And although I personally think CJ is the worst out of all of them, he did have the biggest hit. And then there are some talks that he is an industry plant, but he still had Whoop-Dee, which was a huge, huge song. I think it peaked in the top 10 on Billboard. Had multiple remixes in different styles with the New York and Latin remixes, which that was a very smart move. I saw some other people talking about it, how this was a very good move to get other people listening to the song. And then he actually got a song with El Alfa, who I think is another super big artist, super big Latin artist, and the song is doing really well too. And then his song after Whoop-Dee was called Bop, which is doing pretty good. I didn't expect it to do well, honestly. I was kind of waiting for it to fail, kind of like how some other one-hit wonders have. But the song has like 15 million streams and 20 million views, which isn't like a huge hit, but it's a pretty big song, and I was really surprised by that. I don't think he's ever going to have a hit as big as Whoop-Dee, but he is getting some looks from other people because of his beef with 22 G's and some other New York drill artists. artists that could bring some more eyes on him, but I still do think he'll have a decent career. And what sets him apart from other one-hit wonders, like, I hate to call him out, but Stay Solid Rocky, is the fact that he blew up on TikTok, but then was able to get big features and have other pretty big songs and capitalize off of his big song. You can look at, like, Stay Solid Rocky's profile, and he doesn't really have any other songs besides Party Girl and the remixes for that did well. And then you see CJ, who has other decently big songs, and he got other, like, on other songs, which I didn't really see from Stay Solid Rocky. And that's why I think he's going to make the list this year. Number 9 is an artist who I said at the start was not mentioned on the 10th spot voting, but I think will make it or should make it if they don't decline it. And this is SNYDE. There are rumors that I've heard that he declined the list already and said he didn't want to be on it, but I don't know if this is completely true. But like I said, if he didn't decline it, he's almost a lock for the list. His new project Havoc did really well, a lot better than I expected. Songs like Mean featuring Flo Milli, who I mentioned earlier, Like Me featuring Ian Dior, Sangria featuring Denzel Curry, all did really well. So his other project did really well too. Hits like Gasha and Moon and the Stars appeared on it. And although Gasha is a pretty old song, I think it's from 2018, it still is a huge hit. It has like 170 million streams on Spotify, and Moon and the Stars is like 70 or 80 million as well. So he does have other big songs from like a while ago. And then other singles recently like Whipsky with Lil Skies and Human with Night Lovell did really well also. And so he also practically lives on Lyrical Lemonade. So the day before I'm recording this, he released Tell 'Em with Cochise, which was a pretty big TikTok sound. And then he also had, that's on Lyrical Lemonade, then he had Whipsky, he had Mean, he had Revenge, and he had the song with SSG Kobe, Calabasas, that's the name of it. He's had a ton of songs on Lyrical Lemonade, which has gotten him a lot of looks from the mainstream, and why I think he should make it this year, because he's gotten so big. The next artist I also think should have made the list last year is Ian Dior. He collabed with 24K Golden for the #1 hit song, Mood. Although a lot of people are saying this is a feature, I think it was pretty much a collab. It showed up on both their artist profiles on Spotify, and he had a big part in the song. And without Ian Dior, I don't think the song goes #1. I think it still could have been big, but I don't know if it's that big. So on his recent project, he had hits like Sick and Tired, Pretty Girls, Good Day, and Prospect. On his project, Nothing's Ever Good Enough, he had hits like Emotions and Molly. And then on Industry Plant, he had Gone Girl with Trippie Redd that did really well, Strings with Gunna that did pretty well. And then on his recent, I guess you call it EP, like a little 2-song project, he had Shots in the Dark, which has 16 million streams. So it's doing pretty well. And then Don't Want to Believe, which is doing okay, has 4 million streams, but it shows that he has a super dedicated fan base, and they're willing to stream pretty much everything he puts out as long as it's pretty good. And this is why he deserves a spot in the list, and I still think he should have gotten it last year because he had hits before that list came out. So number 11, I actually wasn't going to put him on my list until J. Cole's album dropped, and from that you may know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Moray. So he had a big song of Quicksand, which has a lot of streams. I think that's like 35 million, but then like I said, what really puts him over is the J. Cole feature. This is the biggest song on the album, and it's My Life, and he killed the feature. If the feature was bad, I don't think the song would have been as popular, and then I wouldn't have put him on my list. But the fact that he had a great hook on the song, and it's the most popular song on the album, shows me that he can make hits, and that's why he deserves it. Although the reason I could see him not making the album is that he's not been out long enough in the mainstream. But even he just released a project called Street Sermons, and I'm honestly really surprised. It's doing a lot better than I thought it would, and that's no disrespect to him. I just didn't think he was that big, had that dedicated of a fan base. But a lot of the songs are doing really well. So the last artist I have on this XXL list is a 12th artist, of course, and that's Spot 'Em Got 'Em. So this new Florida wave of music is getting really big, and I feel like as of right now, he's near the front because of his huge hit single, or singles, depending on how you look at it, Beatbox. So the song blew up on TikTok, and now there's been a ton of remixes for it. Not all of them have been released officially under Spot 'Em Got 'Em's name, but I think there's been 6 or 7 released. So the song's charted, I think, in the top 15 on Billboard. Actually, number 12 on Billboard, and it's been there for 18 weeks now. So the combined streams in the song are crazy and just taking off right now, and then he actually just released another project, and I think he could be using the XXL freshman list as a way to promote it, because like I said earlier, they might have done the shoot already. And then the reason I could see him not making the list though is because he hasn't really had much success with other singles. His biggest song besides Beatbox right now, released his highest trending on Spotify, is Federal, which released I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, which has 464,000 streams. And then he has a few other ones, but the 7 out of 10 songs in his top trending on Spotify are these Beatbox remixes, which is why I could see him not making the list. But yeah, that's my XXL freshman prediction. If y'all watched this far, thank you. If you liked the video, like I said, leave a like on it. I really hate to ask that, but I put a lot of work into these videos, and I'd like more people to see them. So yeah, and then also like I said, I got some Spotify playlists down below if you want to go look at those and drop them a follow. That'd be awesome. And yeah, I'll see y'all later, and peace out.